Hello, I am Lilia. I'm from Estonia. I'm representing NGO Eventus Una, and I am an Estonian language teacher. Today I would like to present you some of our board games. This game is called Quick Words. Actually, this is a good game. Then you need an icebreaker for students who are a little bit shy, or maybe they don't want to move too much. And this goes this way. You can ask your students to sit in the circle, and then you will introduce a little bit the game to them. This game has 60 cards, different cards, with different themes that are represented by these symbols. And this card has also letters on the other side. First of all, you will tell students that, for example, this symbol represents food. This symbol represents a name of a boy or a girl, and this symbol represents any object they can name. After that, you will just choose one of the cards, so you don't see what do you take, and show this card to everyone, and tell them that this is that they have to name an object. After that, you take any card from the pack and show the other side of the card. So, and we have two cards, and this means that students have to tell a word what is any object, but it has to start with A. So, for example, atmosphere, maybe. And the student who will call the word first, he will get this card, and this will be his reward. The student who will collect the most of the cards in the end of a game will be a winner of this game. So, this game I use with the students when we learn adjectives. This is just a box with different interesting objects you can find in your home or buy from somewhere. Just anything, any interesting things, little objects, a toy. And they are good for the reason because you can actually describe them using adjectives. You can describe the color, you can describe the shape, you can tell what are they made of. For example, from textile, a plastic. You can tell that it's yellow or it's green or it's white. You can tell that this object is square or this object is round. Now I will tell you how to use this stuff. There are maybe lots of ways to use it, but I will tell you about two of them. You can divide your group into smaller groups, 2 or 3 students, and tell them that they need to take from this box 5 objects. So, for example, I will take these objects. I have 5 of them. But the important thing is that you can tell them what are they going to do with them. After, when everyone has already 5 objects, you will tell how do they play with them. First person must take an object and first describe it. For example, tell that it's a black object, a square, that is flat, or something like this. And after that, this player puts the object as a base. After that, another player takes his object and also describes it. But the thing is that they have to build a tower of these objects. And eventually, this tower has to stay still, but the player who will destroy this tower unfortunately loses the game, and for example, he or she has to jump 3 times. That's one way. And another way what you can do. Also, you don't tell what are we going to do, but everyone chooses only one object. For example, yeah, something like, I don't know, like this. And the teacher tells that, it's my birthday today, so you brought me a present, but could you please be so kind and explain why do you give me this thing, or why do you give me this thing? So this is a good exercise for students to exercise their speech, their talking skills. This game is called Ego. This game has different cards or with different questions on them, and with different choices of answers. Also, this game has tokens like this, and these tokens has a different number of dots. 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to tell you how can you use it with your students. You can divide your students to smaller groups, for example 3 or 4 people, and every student will get this base. Every student will get 3 tokens with different number of dots on them, 1, 2, and 3. And after that, for example, the player who has the longest hair starts the game. He takes a card and reads a question on the card. For example, you are going to a cinema. What kind of movie would you like to see? Would you like to see a comedy? This means 1 dot. Would you like to see a drama? 2 dots. Or would you like to see a horror movie? 3 dots. So actually this game is made for that you can check how well your co-players know you. If I ask the question, I choose an answer for me. For example, you can put this card so our players can see the questions. For example, I like comedy, and I will choose this token, but I have to put it on this base so that other players can see it, yeah, like this. And after that, other players are trying to guess what do I like, what kind of movie do I like. So they also put on their basis their choice on the answer. And after that, everybody opens their tokens, and if some players have the same answer, actually, if they think that I like comedy, they know me well, or they just guessed properly, we will get as a reward a coin. Yeah. And the winner of this game is the one who collects the most coins. That means that he knows his co-players well. Also, you can add to this game if you have students of higher level. For example, they can explain why did they answer like this or like that. So this will develop their communicational skills. This game is named Picti. This game has different pictures inside, different cards of pictures, and the pictures are on both sides. You see, different interesting objects. They are very colorful, very catchy. You can play with the students. You can play in a big group when your students sit in the circle. Or after that, you can also divide them into groups to play this game. The important is that every student will get an equal number of these cards. For example, 10 or some other number, depending on the size of the group. After that, the students have fake cards. Teacher takes another card from the box that has a little assignment. This card can tell you that this object that students have has to be made of metal, for example, or it has to be made for flying, like a plane, or it has to be hairy. For example, or it has to be found in your garage. Then you just show one card. This is one assignment. And here students must be quick. They must look at the cards and find the card that will match this question. So, for example, what you can find from a garage. Maybe someone has a motorcycle, so if he spots this card and will be first, he must put this card on the table. Maybe the player has shrimps, and if he is inventive, he can also say that you can find shrimps from a garage, but then he has to explain how so. Maybe, for example, his father is a fisherman and has a refrigerator in garage, and so on and so on. So they can develop their speech and talking. And the point of this game is to get rid of all the cards. And the first one who will get rid of his cards will be the winner of this game. This game is called Name Something. For this game, you have to ask your students to sit in a circle that is like closed. And you put a little attribute, this bomb actually, in the center of a circle. This is actually a timer, but you never know when the time ends. With this little bomb, the time ends in different periods. And then the time ends, this bomb will just make a noise of a little explosion. The task for the students, you can use these cards. These cards ask students to name something. For example, name something that people usually spend. For example, money, time. Name something that is wet and that is green. So we have to think about this. You can ask to tell them also what would make them happy, and they have to answer. You just ask about one card. They will think during this time different answers because they might have to answer many times with different answers. And then you start the bomb is ticking, and clockwise the students start to give the answers for this question. If a bomb explodes and somebody didn't answer, his time came but he didn't answer, so he lost, and he actually has to do something that you agreed before. For example, jump 3 times, or crouch, or maybe answer a question what other students would like to ask him, or something like this. You can choose this. And you can play as many circles as you wish. The students, for example, as a starter. This game is called What to Take and What to Leave. This game has different cards. Each card has a little choice that you have to make. For example, a lot of money or lots of friends. A doctor or an advocate. More time or more money. You can play this game in a little circle of 3 or 4 students, or in a bigger group. And you have to first choose the person who starts this game. It's always maybe important if you have kids in a group and they can't decide who starts. You can tell them, for example, that the taller one will start, or the person who starts has shorter hair, and so on. And he starts to read the choice for others, and he has his answer in mind. Then our players also answer one by one to this question and tell what do they choose. This game is about matching the answer of the person who reads the question, and if your answer matches with the person who reads the question, then this person will get the card. Also, you can use these cards with older students to just discuss in a circle these different interesting topics. So you can just put students to talk and express them more during your lesson.